we have saved around 54 crore liter of water per year. Our installed capacity is around 31 crore liters is our installed capacity. So our systems will recover potable water of 31 crore liter every year. So that's our installed capacity. So in terms of large IT complexes, we have one large IT complex is doing, two large malls we are doing, two large industries we are doing, 7 apartments we are doing. So altogether counts in at around 31 crore installed capacity per year. I am Vikas Brahmavar. I have been running this company called Trans Water System Private Limited for the past 13 years. And we have been working on water related issues over the past 13 years. Before that, just like you guys, I was into software industry, writing C++ code for algo trading in investment banking in London. So I was there for many years, from 2002 to 2000, almost 2008 end. I was there in the UK, London. So there during lunch break, I had the opportunity to walk towards the Tower Bridge, right? Tower Bridge, London Bridge, Tower Bridge. So that's where we used to have lunch, sit in the banks of the River Thames and have lunch, have baguette or sandwich. Not even one day there was smell coming out of this Thames River. So I was just above the Thames. Not even one day there was smell coming out, right? So day in, day out, when we call back, do a call back home, there is this problem. And when you go outside the country, you suddenly become patriotic. Why is this government not doing anything? Why are these guys not? So you get too emotional at the age of 21 and you want to change everything. So I had that running, and 8 of our friends, we decided during a Christmas party, we decided, okay, we'll all go resign tomorrow, go back all Swadesh, Rangde Basanti style, movie style, right? I went out of 8 guys, I resigned the next day. None of them resigned. I took it too personal. So I moved back in 2008 with the intention of working on water and lake, river, something to do with water. I did not have clarity that time. So then within few months, all the money I spent on some activities, like we will do this social act. I had some accumulated money from a UK job. Until that completely got over, I was just on charity mode, meaning let's help them, let's help them. But I realized that it won't be profitable. So we initially started doing products which can remove chemicals, remove contaminants from water without chemicals. So I did import some material from Florida, from UK, all that. So we tried how do we non-chemically remove iron from water, non-chemically remove arsenic from water. So we started working on that. But as you continue on water industry, what happens is you get into a stage that without profitability, without money coming in, you cannot get into this. Your intention does not get fulfilled. You cannot do anything. Basically, you have to do some lake region. You will have to spend 15 lakhs. You don't have money to do it. So I got into this trading mode where I bought equipment from different parts, tried to assemble it here and then sell it. So 3-4 years I spent. I became a proper businessman only, meaning my focus focused into trading and doing business. 2014 onwards, I again started feeling I was not doing justice for my moving back to India, and so we started working on seeing what other countries were doing. See, London, what they're doing is all their water management is planned based on what is going out of the city. Israel also, all these cities, developed cities, their water management, if they decide to distribute the water, they plan it based on the population of the city, what is the volume of water going out, and what is anything which comes in as rain is a bonus. So they're planning this based on more on what is going out of the city and not based on what is coming into the city. Here in our case, that's completely different. Our only focus is what is coming into the city. All the cities, Pune, Bangalore, all of them, we look at one dam reservoir, see the level of the reservoir, and then plan our infrastructure. So I found that completely not right, because Bangalore alone is sending around 200 crore liter of treated STP water to the drain on daily basis, which is almost 13 lakes gets created every month just from wastewater going out. This is equivalent to tankers standing in from Bangalore city to Hyderabad. Imagine that many tankers every day. That quantity of water gets wasted. So we thought we'll work on that space. So here we are 14 years now. So we have been focusing on that space.
somewhat inspiration as well, that sometimes you just need to take an action in a moment and then let it figure it out all the way across.
Correct. And
So
never planned VC. I had 1 week. If I was there in the UK, I would have got the HSV, meaning resident visa.
mm,
I was hurrying to return back. My friends were saying, just take the visa, UK visa. You become a, see, when you have to become a British citizen, you have to salute something to the Queen. Things like that are there. So I somehow did not have the plan B at all. I rushed myself back to India.
Yeah, I just wanted to like understand more about the transition, like like from the software industry and to like having this much knowledge inside the water treatment and that aspect. Like, how did you do that? Like, were you alone or like you were working with someone? And
Good question, Shreyas. So actually, what happens is you are in a very comfortable 14th floor corner building with all glasses on the side overlooking Tower Bridge. And next 15 days later, you're standing in a plumbing shop, in a welding shop, boiling hot sun with all plumbers don't understand what you say, no timing. Someone commits at 10, they come at 4 in the evening. So it was complete mess in the beginning. First 2 years, it was me. The first person I took was a driver because I couldn't drive here at all.
okay.
Initially, I tried two-wheeler. I had a spine injury and then had to go on car. So, but it was a difficult transition. First 2 years, I didn't know whether I was doing it right, leaving everything
Mhm.
out. 2.5 years, it was always dilemma. 1 week, I'll feel, okay, this is the best thing I did. Other week, I'll feel, okay, I'll go back to UK. I have an opportunity in Spain. So there's always a dilemma. I cannot say that I was 100% convinced coming here that point of time. 2 years, when as soon as 2 years passed, you see some impact which you're creating, meaning some work. See, one client had some severe iron issue and no big company was able to solve it. And I was able to solve it, being small company, irrespective of profit we made, we were able to solve. So things like that suddenly got some motivation to run for 3 months, and then again 3 months you get one more order where you do something good, you feel happy about it, and things like that kept on moving. And trading was not really my cup of tea. I could have made lots of money, but I made more money than the UK money. But somehow I did not want to buy and sell. Impactful work only gave that. Next day morning, Monday morning, I don't want to feel like same like while going to office. Oh God, Monday happened so fast. Oh, I feel the other way. Sunday, oh God, Sunday, one day, what to do? Boring at home. So, so that changed after 2.5 years, and now I see it looks like a crazy step that point of time, but
Mm.
now it's all worth it because what we are doing currently in India, no one in India is doing it. First thing, and India as a country needs it, and this is a critical phase which most of them don't realize because
Yeah.
we have data from Israel, data from all other Namibia, all other places where 20 years ago they were in the similar situation as we are. Few years of good rain, few years of drought, all these, and we are in that stage, and our country needs many company like ours to solve the issue. So I'm happy that I'm here now.
So because can you like explain in terms for understanding what exactly transwater is and how the whole system works? Like how do you operate?
Yeah. Our entity's name is Transwater System Private Limited. We have a brand name called Boson White Water. Okay. So what happens in our country is there is sewage treatment plant, right? So STP they call it. So any building, apartment above 20 units or commercial space above 20 units of apartments or about 10,000 square feet area, they're supposed to have sewage treatment plant, and that's mandatory throughout India. Okay. But our country is not used to following norms to the dot because of intention. So we put sewage treatment plant only to meet norms, meaning the intention is not to save water because the feeling is you have to treat it and send it out. So there is no intention of recovering, recycling, all that. So sewage treatment plant is mandatory pan India. Okay. And all apartments, just in Bangalore, there are 5,000 plus apartments who have a running sewage treatment plant where all the building sewage is treated and got to a quality which is good for gardening and flushing. You can use it for your WC. That is a quality they have to technically supposed to get it, and then they drain the remaining. So what happens is, since we are all growing vertically, right? There is no enough space to use the entire STP treated water for garden. There is very little garden space. You need 5,000 liters for an acre of garden. So there is no much gardens, with not an acre is not available in every apartment. And for flushing, you need a very bare minimum 45 liters per capita of flushing when you have a total per capita of 135 liters. So you need a very low volume for flushing also. So predominantly 80% of STP treated water, where apartments have spent 2 paisa per liter on treatment, is treated and partially reused, and remaining is sent to the drain. So we took a survey of 200 apartments here in Bangalore, and it was the same case in all of the apartments. So what was happening, they were using some portion for garden, some portion for flushing, and then remaining they were draining it out. Now what happens, this entire cost spent on the entire water drained out is also gone waste. First thing. Second thing, STP is not mandatory for individual buildings less than 20. Okay, so what happens, this water gets with untreated water mixed, it again becomes completely untreated, it goes to a nala, government nala, and there it goes to a large STP, and half of it has to be bypassed, because government, when they construct STPs, right, they don't take the total population into consideration while designing. They take the existing STPs already there, they take only for those which are not there in design. So this water is completely unaccounted of. They don't, and putting a budget, putting a large system inside the city is not practical also, even from their side. So it is done on very minimal requirement, and the STP fails. There also STP fails, and finally all this water goes to lakes. In Bangalore, used to be called land of 1,000 lakes, right? Now there are 200 lakes. Out of 200, 198 lakes are contaminated with E. coli and fecal coliforms, which means that 198 lakes is getting sewage. Okay, and 2 lakes, somehow there are lots of CSR funds which is coming in. So many people are focusing on 2 lakes to make it survive. So that is the situation, and not just in Bangalore, in all the cities, it gets eventually contaminated. So now this is what we do. We take this excess STP treated water, which is good for flushing in garden, and convert it to potable quality water. Potable, when I mean it's technically outside the system, the water comes out, it's technically drinkable. Psychologically, we are not yet there, meaning there is huge barrier in terms of taking it from sewage to drinking, but we convert it technically to drinkable quality water. And this treated water, if it is an apartment, we supply it to an industry nearby. If it is an IT park, mall, or any other commercial, we recover and give it back for their input. Say laundry is using it for clothes washing. One of the largest mall in Bangalore is using it for their cooling tower. One of an industry is using it for plastic washing, things like that. So their dependency on the fresh water comes down drastically. This is in terms of technology, we have done something called IoT, all that we have used, IoT, AI, ML, all that we have used. So where we are able to reduce the operational cost on the system. But I think the primary focus is to make this water, one man's wastewater, available in a positive way for the other one. We have successfully made it profitable as well for all the people involved. Apartment gets a rent for the space they give. Industry get a better quality water than they buy from borewell, which will reduce their operational cost. For example, laundry, if they're using 400 grams of detergent per machine, they're now using 125 grams. A person who's spending 1 lakh is spending 25,000 now. So on the laundry chemicals, cooling tower chemicals drastically from 4 lakh came down to 1 lakh, drastic reduction in cooling tower chemicals. So we're able to achieve it sustainably, and it's profitable for everyone in the environment and profitable for us as well. So this we have currently, this is what we do.
I think like me and Ketul back sometime we were also discussing that is business good for all? Is that business like possible?
It is there are too many parts to solve. See, we had to first solve technology. We had to then solve apartment complexes to understand this, then solve industry, then solve tanker, then solve transportation. So all these took time, but yeah, it's all worth it. It's all set.
Is this system like can be fitted into existing like the complexes that are already there, or does it like have to be integrated from the beginning only?
It can be fixed into the existing apartment, because that is our target market also, meaning we cannot ask them to change anything. We cannot ask apartment association to spend 1 rupee. So we take 2 car park areas, put our system there in 2 car parks. They'll just have to give the water to us, and then we treat it and send it out.
Have you ever like thought about like extending this to rural areas or?
Commercially, it is viable in areas where water cost is higher.
Hmm, hmm.
So
Okay.
currently what we do, we are focusing on cities, Bangalore, Hyderabad and Chennai. Now it's only in Bangalore. After December, we'll focus on Hyderabad, then to Chennai. Jaipur, Agra, all these places which was listed by BBC as top 30 cities which will run out of water. So we will go in that fashion. So in rural, it has to be government intervention. See, what happens is rural, it is not dense like cities. So what happens, the infrastructure cost, the treatment cost would not be much high, but the infrastructure to get all the sewage to one place and treat it and then send it back is a costly thing. Eventually government will realize cities, it has to be decentralized, meaning we'll have to take things into our hand because government doesn't have enough budget to do things. BWSSB has budget to pump the water 100 kilometers away and
Yeah.
give 65% of the budget goes there only, pumping cost. So now if we ask them to put money, it won't happen, meaning they cannot afford, or they cannot build an infrastructure which was built 55 years ago, change everything at 55, 60,000 crores, and they won't do it. So it is on our hands to do anything for urban. For once the urban does, the availability of water for rural increases. Okay. So, for example, Kaveri, we bring it from 100 kilometers away to the city. Okay. We deprive all the agricultural belt which is dependent on Kaveri because city needs that quantity of water. So now if city becomes sustainable over time, then there is surplus water and rural areas won't have water issue. And government can plan something centralized for every rural region.
When you approach, let's say apartments, okay, and there is this mindset in India which is like, oh, sewage water, like how can we use that? Like it's a waste, right? Once it goes in the flush, it's over. So how do you approach that mindset? Like, or in your case, is there such sort of objections? Like,
Yeah, Ketul, there are many objections. I had one case where I went to an apartment. There was a security guard. I told I have been asked by the association to come. One guy came and started blasting at me, saying that so rat pickers and sewage cleaners have now started talking in English. You're making going to drink sewage water, and he was so furious about discussion. And that mindset is still there. People don't even use STP treated water for garden. They say my tulsi plant is there, I cannot use STP treated water for garden. So there is very strong mindset and opposition to use this water. So our focus 2018-19, we wanted to give this water for the sump. Pan India, there is only one apartment pan India which is taking this water back to the sump in Bangalore. This is the only apartment pan India which is taking this water back to their sump and reusing it, meaning every water is the same water. So there is no other apartment which is actually doing it. So we tried to do it 2018-19. We met close to 400 plus apartments, wanting them to use this water back to their domestic use, but it did not move. So now instead of trying to break the behavior, change the behavior, and become a social activist fighting for all this, we thought let's find industries who are ready to use this. So this mindset will eventually change. See now what happened. Now we started giving this water to industry from one of the apartment. Okay, there for the past 6 months they are seeing this high quality water being sent out. Okay, and the incoming water they have sometimes dead rat is there in the incoming water tank, cockroaches, smell, all that is in their borewell water which is coming. And whereas very clean water, crystal clear water is going out after. So now they are asking us, can we initially try it for just flushing? So slowly it is changing. This is like 1 month old now. One apartment, we were giving 1,20,000 liters. They now want themselves to use 80,000 liters. See, eventually it will catch up because people will start seeing this water. E. coli is there, total coliforms there is in borewell water. 65% of all borewells in Bangalore have E. coli and total coliforms. So, and our water doesn't have it. It has a total dissolved salts of 70 ppm, 80 ppm. It's good as bottled water, Aquafina, Distillery, all these bottled water, that quality we give out. So over time, people will understand the tanker or the source which you are taking, which is from a lake, which is contaminated, or from a borewell, which is contaminated, and we are also exploiting that borewell. Rather than that, we'll use our own water. It will change. I don't know. It could be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 20, 10 years. We don't know. But now we have found a model to give it to industries who greatly benefit. Industries, they buy our water once. Next day, they cannot switch to the other water, because next day all their operating cost goes up. With our water, which is cheaper, it works out well.
So you have like lots of stakeholders in the game. Okay, you have apartments, you have the vendors there, and the company that you're trying to put the machinery together. You have the transportation, you have the industry in general. Okay, these are like three segments that I see of stakeholders that you have. So what is your key message to like all of these three stakeholders to be in your system?
Yeah. So initially we thought the important stakeholder is the apartment, because they are the ones who have excess water. Initially we thought they are our stakeholders, and we start going and meeting apartments, asking them, give your wastewater, you are sending it out. When we went there and realized that many apartments pay money to send their excess water via tankers outside, because it clogs their drain and returns back to the basement, they have issues. So we thought we will solve their problem first, where they are ready to they won't even worry about rent, they won't even worry about power, because they're spending 1.5 2 lakhs every month to send the water out. So that kind of apartments are our primary focus, where they are ready to give space and power free of cost, and they're ready to buy some portion of good quality water from us. That is the first area which we now we understand that the buyers are very important. Buyers of this water. See what happens, an industry is currently buying water from tanker, meaning without any hassle. There is all comfortable mechanism has been set over years. We have to change the entire cycle on whom they have to buy, what quality they have to buy, all that. So we now approach buyers first. If someone says, I want this quality water, this quantity of water, and then we find an apartment nearby, go approach apartment, and then comes the technology, understand the report, put the technology setup, and then comes the most important point is the tanker guys. See, initially we all have the habit of calling tanker guys mafia, tanker mafia, right? So we went with the same mindset of tanker mafia, where we had situation where this guy comes and switches off our system, does not let our guys work on. We had those situations earlier in one of the IT parks where we did. So we had this assumption that they are going to create huge amount of problem, all that. But finally we realized that the real mafia are these buyers, meaning they haggle you to the price to every bit. But tanker guys, they understand, because they have seen tough times in their journey also. See, they are saying we wouldn't exploit if people don't ask water. We wouldn't exploit borewell. If the buyer is asking water, he has a need. Either he will exploit the borewell, or I will exploit the borewell. I will make some money exploiting the borewell which is far away from his city, so he's happy to buy. So we are all in together. So it is not just us who are creating the problem. So now they say we will buy water. They are supportive, more supportive than we anticipated. Not everyone. We have had problems where the few guys are not letting us even move water from one of the location there. Every day morning 4:30 they come and stand there so that our tanker guy cannot load. So that problem also we have, but it is solvable, meaning they don't want to lose their business. So we are trying to incorporate them into the cycle. So all these three, one by one, we solve: industry, apartment, buyer, and then finally the tanker, because tanker takes longest time to solve.
Right. Is it because it's disorganized, or it's highly organized?
It is completely disorganized, and locally they are very organized, because they don't let anyone come in. See, one road has a WhatsApp group for tankers. 14 tankers are there in that road. 7 years in one of the Sarjapur road, 7 years, these 14 tankers are the only guys who are supplying water. No one can get inside that network, meaning they won't let anyone else come in. So breaking that or using them is a difficult challenge. It is organized from their perspective, unorganized from our perspective.
Like, can you tell us more about like what is the current like scale of the Boson White Waters, and like how many people are working, or like how many cities or apartments you have covered?
Yeah. Shreya, so currently we are saving around 54 crore. We have saved around 54 crore liter of water per year. Our installed capacity is around 31 crore liters is our installed capacity. So our systems will not save, will recover potable water of 31 crore liter every year. So that's our installed capacity. So in terms of large IT complexes, we have one large IT complex who's doing, two large malls we are doing, two large industries we are doing, seven apartments we are doing. So altogether counts in at around 31 crore installed capacity per year. We are a team of 14 now. See, predominantly scale in this is capex which we put in onto the equipment. See, what has been happening is over the past at least 5 years, we have been selling, say, industrial water treatment, making some money out of that, use that, accumulate that money, and then put one project, because we have accumulated some profit from that, put one project in an apartment or a mall, and then wait for it to accumulate money and then put. So luckily we have had decent recognition from Mission Pani. We were one of the 4 people who got shortlisted Pan India. So after all these recognition, we have some social impact investors who are looking to increase scale up our capacity. We have Indian Angel Network who have supported us in terms of angel investing. We have lots of investors who are looking to invest, but see, we want to make it sustainable and profitable. See, our money or whosoever money it is, it cannot be a burn model in sustainability. We cannot say today I will burn, tomorrow I'll make money. So we cannot do that here, because on the day one it has to be sustainable. So we're taking it in regions where the problem is heavy and the solution is badly required. So this year we'll do only Bangalore. We will touch around 50 crore installed capacity, and we'll be touching 75 crore by December in terms of total saving. 75 crore liters of water per year. Next year from January, we are starting to focus on Hyderabad market. And the year after, we'll focus on Chennai market.
Interesting. So can you help us like translate the numbers you have said, right, about saving the water into something like people can kind of like relate to?
Yeah, 3 years if we run our equipment, we will save 4 lakes.
Okay.
Meaning we would have created water equivalent to 4 small lakes. That's the water. See, the point is, see, there are lots of sewage treatment plants. Okay. Even though you recover, that water is not utilized. So what we are doing is, this water is directly utilized by someone instead of borewell. So it is direct saving, meaning if we don't put the system, this entire water goes wasted, meaning it is not used.
A lot of similar problem is also there in the other waste management and recycling industries. Like it's the same thing, like something can be recycled, but if it just get mixed with something which is not, and then it's like the entire thing is, even if you have any recycling equipment or not.
There are many people who want to get into this industry. We have had interest from Jaipur. We have interest from Visakhapatnam. We're trying to see this industry. It's not easy. People from outside think that, okay, that guy has wastewater, I will put a treatment plant, I'll put 25-30 lakhs and send it out. The amount of time it takes, amount of failures we will face on the way are too high. So what happens, my friends who are in IT, many people want to get into industry, but see, it's a very difficult comfort zone to come out. Not too many. You'll have to. I had to move to a different apartment with the fear of tanker guys hitting us, threatening our family. So you don't know what extreme it can go. So there is a little problem in different places. So we are trying to find people who are able to take this as a passion to solve this. Money will obviously be there, but no amount of money people feel is worth it for bigger risk. So,
yeah, and it's especially the case, when we talk to change makers, okay, like whether they are in business or they are in social activity. Whenever I think sustainability is in picture, there is a mindset change that goes with it, like from any field where you're trying to uh, work for conservation or work for regrowth of environment. That's where the backlash from the community is coming in, because our existing systems are not made for sustainability, to be sure.
Exactly.
They are definitely meant for like short-term achievements. So Vikas, like the work you are kind of doing in Bangalore, okay, can you help us understand the overall scenario of Bangalore in numbers, like how much water is being discarded and how much is being used? I know we talked a huge deal with Ganesh about the incoming numbers, but what are the outgoing numbers currently in Bangalore?
So, see, Bangalore, Ganesh would have told about incoming water in terms of leakages, in terms of 40%, 42% getting wasted on the pipeline. So now that entire volume which is used goes as waste. The numbers are around 200 to 280 crore liter. If you take individuals also, 280 crore liter of water actually goes out as waste, meaning goes to some Raja Kalve and then goes to Kolar. That's where all the sewage goes to Kolar, and we grow all the fresh vegetables from Kolar, buy the fresh vegetables from there because sewage goes there. So this is one large number, 200 to 280 crores. But on a
Is
micro
this
scale, see,
per year? Sorry, because so like
per day,
per is okay. Okay.
per day 200 to 280
Okay.
crore
Okay. Okay.
liters goes out as waste. So
Oh my.
yeah, so see macro scale numbers, right, Ketul? So if you Google, anyone can find, meaning all the data are available. But what data is right, what data is wrong, people don't know. So each NGO comes out with a different number, and
Yeah.
it's all variable. What is more important is the decentralized number. So I'll give you numbers on how individuals, say 100 unit apartment, right? 100 unit apartment will have a wastewater of around 50,000 liters. Out of this 50,000 liters per day, they will use 10 to 15,000 liters for their gardening flushing. 35 to 40,000 liters goes to the drain on daily basis. Not useful for anyone. Okay. Now, a cluster of apartments will have a lake nearby, which technically, in ward wise, if you see, technically the lakes which are existing in Bangalore, the reservoir lakes can be the reservoir to cater to all the freshwater needs. But since it is all contaminated, the infrastructure doesn't support it. That became a sewage holding tanks basically. So the thumb rule, it is 100 units, 50,000 liters goes as waste. No, there is huge scope in terms of this being implemented. Why, I'll tell you, 2018, right? 2018, there was a war room situation in the BWSSP. Okay, 2018 May. Okay, the KRS level, dam level, okay, came to a level where if there was no rain for 3 days in that entire month, Bangalore did not have water. Right, 3 days was the buffer. In those 3 days, out of 11 or 12 days, 3 days rain were supposed to come, and it was a war room situation. What will we do if 3 days rain doesn't come? Weather says only 2 days rain, this one day rain doesn't come. So it was a war room situation in 2018. Tankers from one area used to go 20 to 25 kilometers to take water and bring it to the apartment. Cost of water per tanker went to 5,000, 5,100 per tanker, which is heavy. Now it is like 800,000 rupees. It's 5 times the cost. Okay. Now such situation will keep happening, and eventually we will have to look at sustainable methods. Because see, there was one apartment, Shobha apartment, where they had informed all the residents, because tanker guys could not deliver water. If you order it today, they will get day after tomorrow. Okay, they had told, sent an email to all the residents, 2 days there won't be any water. If you have any other apartment or any other guest, people went to hotel, stayed in hotels for those 2 days from that apartment. So situation like that has happened before. It was just 1 or 2 days, but we are not far away from seeing bad days. It is not that I'm waiting for doomsdays to happen. It is not that, but we'll have to be prepared for things like that. And people slowly are understanding that becomes difficult. See, 2008 when I moved back, the average borewell depth was around 450 in Bangalore. 450, 500 borewell people used to take water. Now the average is 900,000. People go 1,000 feet below the ground to take water. This is the same water dinosaurs used to be drinking, no, million years. So if you do a aging of that water, 1 million, 250 million years ago, whatever water was there, we are taking it at a very fast pace, right? So, so people will realize that this will take off, but we don't know when. Until then, industries can take this water and prevent borewell exploitation.
True. It was like, so I've been coming to Bangalore for the past year because of work, and compared to Gujarat, like from where we come from, like the rainfall here is like at least 100 times more. So when I came, like I felt okay, this city is very lucky to have this much rainfall. They won't be having any water issues like we do. And surprisingly, I came to know that like they are facing worse water issues than actually we in Gujarat do. So
So
I
we are
could
extracting water at 35% higher rate because of the demand. So what we put in is 100 liters, then we take 135 liters back again very fast.
Do you like to expand transporter into something like rainwater harvesting or moving along those lines into more avenues of water conservation?
Yeah, Ketal, so our vision is not to save water, meaning we say to create abundance, water abundance. See what happens when we term it as saving water, we are already on a mindset of scarcity. We already have a feeling that there is no water, and people say, I will have shower in half bucket, I'll have shower in a quarter bucket challenge, all that people do. See, not everyone is an environmentalist, right? We are all normal people. If you ask me to have shower in half bucket, it's a pain. You get into a mindset where not out of 500 people, 2 people, 3 people will be of that mindset, right?
Yeah.
So to a common man, it should be water abundance. We all see water flowing out to the drain in the rainy season and drought in the summer season. There is abundance of. India has been a country where we have huge resources. We are abundant in water, but we copy from other places saying that water scarcity, and we get to that mindset, saving water. So when you work on things on saving water, what happens? Your technology all are coming on a restricted mindset. How will I save money? How will I save water? All technologies. How will I put the cheapest technology? How will I? So everything goes on cheap, low, slow, all that. So we want to change that and move towards how do we create abundance of water? 200 crore liters every day going to the drain. How do we create abundance? Rain cannot give 200 every day, right? So our vision, everything is focused on creating abundance of water. And as you said, water recovery, this white water, we want it to be like rainwater. We want white water to be one of the key source of water. We call it third source of water. One source of water which comes from the above, meaning rain. One source of water which comes below the ground, borewell. These are the only 2 sources we have. Now we want to create this third source of water, which is the water which we dispose of into a best quality water. So this will ensure we have abundance of water, and cities don't depend on rural's share of water. So I can give you a story. See, when we were kids, right? If you see a kid enjoying in a fountain, okay, we used to feel happy seeing that kid, right? So we see the kid and see, okay, that they have fun, all that we see that. Now what do we see? Where is that water coming from? Where is this water getting wasted? When we play Holi, where is the water getting wasted? Everything comes on a mindset where it is all restrictive. It forces people to restrict. Okay. Now, if in the same apartment there can be a large fountain, kids play, but the entire water gets recovered, reused. When we have that infrastructure with technology, it's possible. Then this happiness, this real nature of human being, all that comes out when we are not on that scarcity mindset. So this example keeps hitting me because now when I see kids in the fountain, my immediate thought, are they recovering the water? Meaning I don't see that kid enjoying. That pleasure is gone now because we are focused more on saving water. We lost all the pleasures of life, right? So
Other day I was interestingly reading through some charts on internet, and there was this chart plotted where it was that we talked about saving energy, right? In general, this plot was actually showing that the countries with highest energy consumption per capita are the countries who have the highest per capita income and the productivity of the people. So definitely it's not about utilizing like bare minimum, but it's like utilizing in right amount and having that comfort where we can all be like have a peace of mind, as well as make sure the sustainability is being carried throughout the way.
Exactly. Sustainability in thinking as well. Correct.
Yeah. Are there any more companies who are doing this sort of system, and is there a way you are thinking to collaborate, or like how are you thinking to grow this as an ecosystem in general?
Yeah. So we want hundreds of companies like ours to come in, because the problem is huge and many companies to solve. Okay, technology is not a challenge. Okay, there are large companies, Thermax, Ion Exchange, all large Swiss, all large companies who are able to do this technology really well, but they're not focusing on decentralized way of doing it. They want full large scale project, whole Mumbai, whole Bangalore. That kind of projects is what they're looking at. That wouldn't solve the problem for a common man next door. Meaning, people have to move towards decentralized. We are looking to collaborate with the organizations who want to focus on decentralized infrastructure. This won't work on commercially profitable model, meaning initially the profits which they make in an industrial will be much higher than what they make in this one. But this one is a long term game and not short term game. So we are looking to collaborate. Many more companies has to come. We're willing to share any details required for people who are serious about implementing in any place. See, in Bangalore alone needs 50 companies. 200 crore liter, we are at 54 crore liter per year. There is 200 crore liter per day which needs to be done. So huge scope, 365 times our capacity we need here in Bangalore alone. So scope is huge. We are looking to collaborate. Right people is more important. Technology is all solvable, meaning anyone can do this technology. We have done some IPs which we have developed for our performance improvement, but it's all possible. It's all money game. Little higher money you can get alternate. So it's all possible. Making it viable and driving it through to the end is what is important.
Is this possible to scale to a normal houses like societies or something, like not big complexes?
So currently the viability and sustainability is for larger volume, above 50,000 liters of water per day. So the infrastructure cost is higher and becomes costlier for individual houses. Technologies are there, but it doesn't sustain. Meaning, so if we ask an individual house to do some industrial equipment recovery, all that, it doesn't sustain. Technology is all there. So we are currently not focusing on individual buildings.
Right.
Focusing on larger volumes where the impact is visible and sustainability is achieved. See, we don't want to do for the sake of doing. See, meaning I can do it for my house, I can do it for 10 houses, but it won't scale, because everyone will not spend 15 lakhs for a 2000 liters water recovery, because water cost is 500 rupees. You won't spend 10 lakhs for that equipment, right? So,
like, is there possibilities of, like, let's say in my city, right, like my hometown, we have this tenements and all that. I think there is some centralized system where the waste kind of goes, which is like municipality managed structure, right? So is there any scope of like such collaborations or like government?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So Bangalore has 33 or 34 large STPs where individual buildings, sewage goes to those places. We are in a stage where to have that running itself is a big challenge, but our system can go after the government STP also to recover potable quality water and give it to industries or become like a third source of water as a supplier. It is definitely possible. It is there in our long-term view. We are too small to do large-scale projects at this moment, because those are centralized, and centralized, if the government intention is there and money is there, large companies can come in. Say, for example, in Chennai, they are already trying to do it, meaning they have seawater, so it's focused on seawater, but they also have a tertiary treatment plant where they're recovering sewage water and giving it to industries in a central level. The only challenge in central level is all these are far away, right? All these treatment plants are far away. So if we are able to transport it to the city, then it becomes we are transporting more diesel than water. So that is the challenge. So it has to be 5 kilometer radius, within 5 kilometer radius. So we should not be transporting diesel. So that is a challenge with centralized, but it's doable where if there is a common reservoir which is already pumping water, it can be pumped to that, and it is possible.
How do you aware people in general about these systems and the benefits of it?
Yeah, so they call it yak factor. So this has not moved anywhere in the world, but Namibia is doing it for the past 50 years, where it is called DPR, direct portable reuse. It is taken back to the reuse. But how do we address this behavior thing? It is going to take time. We'll have to keep creating awareness on water quality. This one apartment in India which has done it, they have been publishing water quality on daily basis, weekly basis, and all that. So we have integrated remote monitoring water quality parameters where people can see in their mobile existing water quality, which they are getting via tanker, getting via our system. So that kind of comparison. But eventually it will come. Say, we have lots of people saying that until there is no water, meaning until it comes to the neck, people don't adopt some drastic change, right? We never had Zoom calls before COVID, meaning I never used Zoom before COVID. It was all physical meeting. 1.5 years now, everything changed, right? It's a permanent change. So it came to our neck where we had to adopt technology. We had no other option. People adopted. A few people say that that is a way for water to sustain, because Singapore, it happened that way. Israel, it happened that way. Everywhere where it is practical now, it happened that way. But what is possible is this industrial reuse can be a policy. Okay, that can be implemented. Behavior change, see, it will happen slowly, meaning it could be next year. If we don't have rain, it will happen next year. So we never know, it is next year or 10 years, 12 years, we never know. But eventually it will happen. See, we are okay to drink water, contaminated water from outside. We don't want to drink the water when we know that it's our own sewage which we are recovering. This knowing is a problem. See, one layout, what used to happen for 1 year is we recovered the water. First, initially, no one was taking it. Few slowly, the guys who were doing construction work, right? They used to come collect 20-liter can and go and keep it. They see a system. They didn't know that it was wastewater and things. They took cans, and then they started taking cans to their house, because this water is recovered water. They're taking cans to the house. Then one of the guys started taking whole tanker to his residence. Okay, he didn't know that it was recovered water. He used it for 1.5 years, and then someone said, "You cannot take this water. This is for our own purpose." Then they came to know that recovered water. Then they stopped again. Then they took again. People who don't know, they want this is the best water. So knowing is the problem. Knowing that it's recovered water, it's a problem. But we should also know that every water in the world is recovered water. There is no fresh water coming in. Every water is recovered water. But this is in very micro scale, and we can see it in our eyes that we cannot see it in our eyes. So
You mentioned about like policies. How can people and organization kind of go to push the policy changes? Is it happened or not?
yeah, this policy where zero discharge for apartments, this policy where STP is mandatory, this has been fought. See, for one policy to change in our country, it will take average 5 years. If someone is very aggressive, focused, and change anything, it takes 5 years. So what happens? Individuals don't have that kind of time to keep on pushing one policy. As a company, what we do, we have been pushing wherever we see, whichever government, we have been pushing for zero discharge, at least for industries, and industries to use this water. But it will take time. So policies in our country cannot be implemented. So it is not the intention. They might have the intention, but it has to go through the entire cycle of top to bottom to get any policy out. But it is possible, but it's a long game, meaning we'll have to wait it through. For zero discharge, I think 2014 they started. For 14 apartments, they had to send notice. It was sent 2021. So the first discussion with us happened on 2014, where we went to the offices, and that's when the first discussion happened. The policy came out in 2021, January. So So it does happen, but who will wait for 6 years? We have been fortunate where we are getting some revenue from the other verticals and we are able to sustain, go, keep trying. Government also, see, it is no one's fault. That is how our country is. We cannot blame anyone. It's no one's fault. Everyone's intention is right. The speed at which it happens has to happen from top, and yeah, it takes time.
Policy is one aspect, right? You also spoke that there is an for apartments that is being included in your model, right?
Yeah. See, apartments who are paying money to send the excess water out, right? It's a cost for them. The water is negative. Any treated water is a negative cash flow for them, meaning they spend 500 rupees per tanker to send it out. Okay. Now, for them, we make it positive, meaning this entire water is treated, converted to potable quality. We don't make it positive, very heavy positive. From minus 1.5 lakhs, we bring it to plus 7,500. Yeah. We don't charge for the power. We pay for the power which we use from the apartment at 8 rupees per unit. We pay for the power, so there is no expense for them. The entire water sending out becomes positive for them. So from negative cash flow to positive cash flow. Now, if the buyer market is set properly where people are able to pay a higher value, eventually we can share some profits with the apartment, where apartments ideally can cover, say, 15% of their STP cost from this.
Right.
Operating cost of STP from this. Over time, that is where we want to move. But it should not be that we end up lost in the name of making apartment positive. We cannot be at loss, and industry cannot be at loss. So we are trying to balance all of these together at this point. So there are two intentions with the RWA apartments work, right? Apartment has core committee, which has some environmental guy who is driving the entire change. But there is other segment of people who are more on cost saving and things like that. Okay. Now we have seen both kinds of apartments where if you say, for example, someone wants to put water meter. Okay. The intention to put water meter for some apartments is to catch the thief. Meaning, out of this whole 50 people in the apartment, who is the guy who is spending more water? So the intention is to clearly catch the thief. Okay. The intention of putting water meter to catch the thief. Okay, that is one intention. The other kind of apartments where they put water meter is to find the leakage. Where is the water getting lost? So this intention is a problem with the RWA association. Okay, I know that guy is spending more water. He has many people there. They're spending more water. If you put water meter, I'll catch him. So that's the wrong intention to put water meter. Right intention is, we are having this block, we have so much of liters of water getting wasted. Let's put water meter to find the area where it is leaking and monitor the whole water management. So this intention change is what is critical for apartment association. That is what we see in those RWAs where the intentions are right. The economic sustainability, everything falls in place. Intention in those apartments where intention is wrong, everything goes for a toss. See, someone is paying 200 rupees water bill. You ask him to spend 2,000 rupees on water meter and also pay 150 rupees as a subscription charge. He will say, sir, I am spending 120 rupees on my water. You're asking me to spend 2,000 plus every month 200, which is more than my water cost. Why should I do? So this wouldn't work out when we find. So if we say, sir, this building block has more wastewater than the other block, we're going to put meter here where the whole block will get benefited, things like that. So every product which goes inside apartment goes under these things, finding or doing the right thing.
How can like common people support such initiative or like be part of it in some way possible?
Yeah. So here citizen forums like Wow, World of Water, all these forums, what we ask is, if anyone is working in an industry, okay, we are asking them to see what kind of water they are buying. And if there is any opportunity for us to supply high quality water, we ask their support. First kind of effort, support, we ask them that whoever is buyer of water, that is the first connections we ask. Second, citizens drive these apartment associations. So we ask support from apartment complexes for spending money to send water. We are targeting them. Third thing is, every apartment, pan India, right? whoever is using recycled water for their flushing, they have severe hygiene issue. See, my friend bought an apartment, 3.5 crore worth apartment. He doesn't call people to his house. He says, "Oh, my whole restroom smells," because it's STP treated water. It's not because of not maintaining it. It's STP treated water. Huge hygiene issue. So we are asking for people who have these kind of issues with their existing apartment. We are asking them to buy our water for their flushing as well. So these three areas we are taking citizen support. And wherever there is awareness creation, like Ganesh got us connected here, like friends connecting, I think that kind of awareness creation is happening there. See, we have been very lucky that we have had lots of support from everywhere. So we never had a chance where government says no or citizen says no or customer. We have always had support. But how many ever people support this integrating everything? There is lot many challenges which still needs to be faced irrespective of what support we get.
True.
Do you see IT playing a sustainable role in terms of integrating this ecosystem?
Yeah, there are two aspects to it. One is physical aspect where all IT parks have cooling towers, right?
All right.
So if they're efficiently using high quality for their own building, that is one aspect. If they are able to use it for their own building. Second, in terms of software, enabling buyers and sellers via technology would be a good area to work. Meaning, what are the buyers? There are a few companies now starting to work on it. They're trying to raise funds on it, where they're trying to map buyers and sellers and connect buyers and sellers to us. Meaning, they become a platform for that. So, third thing which I see is enabling. See, IT companies are the people who are focusing on sustainability. Sustainability is now become cool among IT segment. So they're focusing on sustainability and they are realizing that it is at a 1%, 2% implementation level. Okay, people have been spending CSR money on lots of stuffs. Okay, now I think there is intention going on sustainability angle, right? So I think they can drive. IT companies can drive. See, for us here, Wipro, Infosys are supporting. Biocon is supporting.
Okay.
So these guys are supporting us in whichever way possible. I think that will come. Software side, yes, buyers and sellers exchange some technology which can help in terms of connecting construction water to our company or companies like us, where construction water can. So some technology mapping can become easier. Some aggregation on buyers and sellers can be a good platform, good help.
What will be the message to uh, people who are trying to kind of start something of their own, like initiative or a business or a product into
Social.
sustainability or this type of ventures?
Yeah, the first point I would say is as an entity, you'll have to become sustainable. You will become sustainable only if you are profitable. No, people should not get into the charity mode when they start any sustainability business, because that won't sustain. Okay. So they themselves has to learn to sustain in their business, and this is first. Second thing is, it is not easy. Whatever they see from outside, it is not easy. It is a tough game, and they'll have to be ready to sacrifice next 3 or 5 years time to this space. It won't happen in the short term. See, what happens is this comparison, right? So I see millennials now. One of the friends started an IT company. He raised $2 million. Within next 3 years, he's really big. Is in all news, and people in sustainable space, if they start comparing with such things, that such things won't happen in this. You should have real interest and need to solve a big industrial problem. Money definitely is there if you position your thing right, and if you're ready to put time into it. See, when I got into this industry, I said, okay, my life is in this industry, meaning it is not for the money reason. See, we can always earn money in some UK. You go, you make good money, or nowadays here the packages are crores, so you can always earn money. But this space is difficult. If you are driven because of money and business, then this won't sustain. So third thing is, you will have to have good social presence, meaning you cannot be straight to face in most cases. If you go still straight to face to a, see, I see young guys, they go straight to the face KSPCB chairman, they say you are doing completely wrong. They might be wrong from the perspective he's seeing. That will spoil their entire growth path, meaning no one will support. So you should understand the holistic perspective that we are a democratic country. People have gone through lots of things. So you should have that perception of understanding not everyone is wrong. Because I did that mistake when I moved. So I thought that mistake people should not.
Oh, that is like literally gold for anyone who is planning to start, including ourselves. Because that's so real. Like people don't share these aspects of like struggles, and then we come with a false picture in the mind. So
I would not say false, it's the energy. See, at 21, 22, you have so much of energy to change the world, all that, right? So it happens that you feel you have not seen the entire path which the other person has gone through. You see the path which you see from outside, right? But their path is different, meaning they would have gone through more problems trying to do things when they were young, right? So so the holistic perspective is needed to solve this. No one is wrong, no one is right. We have to do things which we feel is right.